I think probably my favorite line that you wrote in the book was, how is a guy supposed to make an honest living if he can't be a bookie? I don't know exactly what you meant by that, but I thought it was really quite funny.
Well, there are those, this is what happens. To go to the racetrack or to go to OTB, you need cash or credit cards. With a bookie, you need credit with the bookie. That credit is a handshake, and you settle with him once a week. So, the bookie becomes honest in his ways because of the fact if you are damaging yourself financially, he stopped you from betting. And he said, no, take it easy. Give me so much a week till you catch up, and then you can start betting again with me. The government, they don't handle the bettors that way with OTB, and what happened is this: the bookie was considered the man you go to when you couldn't pay your rent. Even if you owed him money, he might help you out and give you some money towards your rent. It doesn't mean he would deduct it from your winnings, because the bookie was a man of integrity who would say, listen, you owe me money, I gave you money for your rent last month. Now, you won here, now I'm paying you for this. So, it's not the same thing, don't worry about it. Now, when we made the arrangements for you to give me so much a month, because I gave you some cash to help pay your rent. Now you win this bet. So I pay you off the full amount, and it's up to you if you want to contribute so much to knock that balance down on the loan I gave you. So a bookie is an honest man, considered to be an honest man, and the man in the neighborhood who helps you when you're in need. And he doesn't pay income tax. He doesn't use you as a dependent. He doesn't use you as an expense account to deduct it from income tax. There is no income tax involved. So I would have to say that how could you make an honest living if you weren't a bookmaker? Yeah.
Tommy Gallagher from the Contender TV show told me that you're the best boxer that he ever saw fight outside the ring.
Well, what happened was this. Inside the ring, you have a referee. So outside the ring, and Tommy Gallagher's talking about barroom brawls I had growing up, and how defending a guy who a bully might have beat up, and I go after the guy. Not that the guy, the person that got beat up by the bully, he never asked me to do it. I did it on my own. I wanted to teach the bully a lesson. So, and I would get fired up by having my false courage called alcohol, and I became Superman. And I went after the guy, and the guy that got beat up from that individual would come and thank me, and he said, "I never asked you to do that, you know." I said, "I wanted to do it, you know," and that's the reputation I got, that I was a better street fighter than a fighter in the ring. Because in my day, they didn't call it karate. They didn't call it jiu-jitsu. They called it dirty fighting. I was a dirty fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I admit that. I was a dirty fighter.
I have a trick question for you now. Who would win in the fight? Tony Knapp or Tony Rio?
Very good. And I'd have to say Tony Rio. He was tougher than Tony Knapp. Why? Because Tony Knapp is the son of Jimmy Knapp. And my last name is Napoli. Knapp is a nickname, cut short from Napoli. And my father's real name is James Napoli. Call him Jimmy Knapp, cut short from Napoli. Why do I say Tony Rio was a tougher guy, a tougher man than Tony Knapp because Tony Rio was alone in the mountains. Jimmy Knapp, his father, was not there. He didn't even know where he was at. And Tony Rio had to survive. But if Tony Rio picked up the phone to call his father for help, then Tony Rio became Tony Knapp. So Tony Knapp is not the tough guy that Tony Rio was. So I would call that shadow boxing in the gym, and the shadow on the wall or the shadow in the mirror, I would have to say that shadow in the mirror was Tony Rio all the time. And I found him. And by knowing how to box, I was able to make a living by doing so out west. Because I wouldn't call. I decided I'm not going to call anybody. I'm going to do this thing on my own and do this thing. And whatever training I had as a boxer, I'm going to use it and become Tony Rio. That's what I did.